Hey, it's Tyler O'Hara, King of the Baggers. Be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube.
On that Ducati, he's going to be awfully fast. Josh Hayes going for the all-time win record if he can pull it off. 11 laps, Supersport race number 1. When the lights go out, we're going. And it looks like a good launch from the front row. Stefano Mesa, a little bit asleep at the wheel, but it's going to be Xavi Forés. No, it looks like it's going to be the number 70. So it looks like Ty Scott possibly on that Vision Wheel M4X Star Suzuki leads us in there. Xavi Forés was looking for a way around. He's going to square off the corner. He'll be in second spot. Mesa with a bit of a start recovery in third. As riders, there's Michael Gilbert on the 55 up the inside. Josh Hayes goes around the outside of him. So Hayes now in the Squid Hunter Yamaha R6 in fourth spot. Crazy at the beginning.
Yeah, Josh actually split Gilbert and Teague Hobbs as they went down into turn 3. Got a little narrow there. Josh got a really good jump from row 2. Michael Gilbert as well. As you can see him now going down the inside. He's on the very inside line on that blue and white 55. Hayes is going to outbrake him as they go down into there. He's going to touch Mesa. So Hayes gets into Mesa just a little bit. That's going to open the door for Gilbert to maybe go through to fourth. As you see them go up underneath the Corvette bridge, Mesa's going to close down across the front of Gilbert. But out front, the guy out front, Greg, has some pace, especially down through this area. So they're going to have to keep an eye on Forés and not let him get too far away early.
Xavi Forés still racing World Endurance as well, off to Spa in a couple of weeks' time on different tire brand. Still says he's getting used to these Dunlops. But Jay, what he was telling me on his Warhorse HSBK Ducati is that this track is so good right out of the box. First year, the repave with a polymer modified asphalt that he's able to push the front, and he just hasn't figured out where the limit is as Josh Hayes slots himself up into second spot. So here comes Josh Hayes.
Yeah, that's the surprise of nobody. Josh does not want to see Forés leapfrogging at the front. Josh is obviously very good about getting up to speed quickly, but you can see there's a little bit of a gap there that gets pulled from that Ducati to the R6 of Hayes. He's going to hold off Ty Scott as Mesa's looking up the inside now at Ty Scott. Michael Gilbert still slotting himself there into fifth. Expect to see him start to go forward when they get onto that front straightaway. He's going to have 3 riders in front of him that are going to be drafting, and I think unfortunately Josh, he's got to try to get away from those guys. I think you might see all 3 of those bikes past Hayes at the end of this straightaway.
So far on our timing system during the weekend, Hayes' bike hasn't been the fastest. The 37 has been absolutely ripping. So here comes Mesa. He's in the draft of Josh Hayes. Michael Gilbert there as well, trying to find some space.
You can see Carl Soltis also running up onto the back of these 2 guys. The front 3 are starting to tie themselves together a little bit. Xavi made that big run as you see Jarrett Nassani down.
Unfortunately for the Altus Motorsports rider, that GSX-R 750 he is.
And at the Hayes 19, the only other 2 guys in the 19s, actually 3 guys, you can see Scott and Gilbert and Teague Hobbs.
So Xavi Forés continues to lead. Lucas Oil helicopter provide us outstanding pictures and a great overhead look at MotoAmerica, and it looks like Hayes trying to outbrake the braking demon of Xavi Forés, and Hayes goes around him as Forés had a look over his shoulder and was like, wait a second, what just happened here?
Yeah, but he sneaks back up underneath as Josh got in there just a little bit deep. It ran him out just wide ever so slightly. Now this is definitely going to help Mesa get back right in that mix. And Mesa, he's seasoned, let's not forget. He's going to watch these 2 guys hammer on each other for a little bit. He's going to be patient. It's also going to help Michael Gilbert. We're due to have 4 riders at the front of this. You see the 3 guys come over the top. Mesa will get a double bike draft. He'll be able to suck along in behind these 2 guys.
Josh
Hayes goes through.
Wow, so Hayes able to draft and pass right by, and he'll take over the spot. So now Hayes in his favorite position. How about this Geico save? This is Brian Mullins out of Cincinnati, Ohio. On the Wreckers to Checkers, the 66 bike on that Triumph Street Triple. How about that save?
That's a big one out of the chicane. He always wants to lead, doesn't like to be behind. Xavi Forés is going to try to draft back by him and slow the 4 down a little bit. And that's exactly what he's doing as they get down to the braking area of turn 1. Xavi Forés goes back through on Josh Hayes. That lap a 2:18.1 for Hayes, pushing his own win. But again, what that did, that splintered it to where these 3 guys get away. Drop Michael Gilbert that time. Michael at a 2:18 13.8, but all the first 3 guys were over half-second quicker. So Hayes does the job of eliminating one rider right now from that. As you can see, he is now trying to take another shot of Forres as they go down, and Mesa is going to go down the outside of Forres as they go down into turn 5. 3 wide, Greg, and Forres wins the braking battle down into there this time.
But Hayes doesn't give up too much asphalt, and he'll stay right there. What a race we have in Supersport race number 1 here at Road America, the freshly paved. 5 years planning to get the surface to the condition it's in, and this racetrack expected with this new surface to last.
And all the while, Greg, you got Mesa sitting there kind of watching it. I know he's pushing, but he's going to be watching. He's got a good run this time on Josh. They come down the front straightaway.
Here comes Mesa. Tytler cycles Kawasaki ZX6R against the Squid Hunter Yamaha R6. Those are part of our older generation bikes, I guess you could say, as opposed to the next generation bike that's leading. So there goes Mesa into second spot. The advantage for Hayes in this particular situation is the speed of that Kawasaki. There's no bumps at this racetrack anymore. It was thought that these riders at this speed push the front so incredibly hard as Hayes goes up the inside of the carousel.
He's so fast there. I mean, he just literally is so fast.
There's something you wouldn't see on the old track very often.
No, you would definitely not see that on the old track. And then there's just so much grip there, and Josh has so much corner speed down through there, and you can see he's trying his best to get out of that corner as hard as he can. Forres back in the draft, going to move over to the left of Hayes and go back past that R6 as they head down to Canada Corner. That probably surprised Forres quite a bit, but we've seen throughout the race how much speed Josh has in that carousel turn. For him to be able to turn the bike and just roll up underneath Forres there like that, Greg, going down into 5, I think that's going to be his plan to try to get by both of these guys.
Onto the front straightaway. White flag will be flying at the top of the hill. Forres with a nice little advantage on the 12th. That's the Warhorse HSBK Racing Ducati Panigale V2. There goes Mesa, just like you predicted, Jason, on the Tytler Kawasaki ZX6R. Josh Hayes on that Squid Hunter Yamaha R6. Final lap. Here we go.
And that can work well for Josh because I think both the riders in second and third are a little bit better than Xavi when they get down here into turn 3, especially on the drive out, as you're going to see the 37 and the 4 will get good runs out of here. And you can see Josh coming out of there. He's going to get a double bike draft. He's a little bit too far back now, though, Greg. So I'm not sure exactly if Josh made a small mistake, but Mesa's the one now that will pull over to the left and try to outbrake Xavi Forres into turn 5. Nah, Forres is just too good, isn't he, down there?
He's too good. You can see Mesa trying to snatch that lever. You can hear a little bit of tire chirping as they head down into there. As Mesa, the best split of the race in sector number 1. This track divided up into multiple sectors, and we can see in our timing and scoring screen that Mesa is going all out. Hayes is still there, but just a little out of touch.
But he lost 0.6 to Mesa in that first split, did the 4. So we'll have to see if Josh can close that gap back up. The spots that I felt that Hayes could maybe do something are past now, other than the chicane, and he's not going to be close enough to do anything with these two in the chicane. Now, is Mesa on this tight line thinking about trying to do something with Forres? He's not close enough to do it. And he's not really close enough, Greg, to do anything on the brakes going into the chicane as Josh draws back up onto the back of them after going through the carousel.
This is where Xavi Forres starts to shine, and he needs to, because he's been thinking about this all day. If I have the 37 behind me, I need to have a bit of a gap as I get closer to driving onto the front straightaway. But Mesa is putting in an unbelievable lap. Last sector, fastest sector by Xavi Forres, matched by Mesa and Hayes. The speed on this final lap is incredible as they navigate the last couple of corners. Forres continues to lead, but Stefano Mesa has got a plan in his head.
Man, Forres is so fast through that left. Look how much he just pulled away. He opens up the last corner, Greg. Now it's all about controlling that apex speed, but the Ducati on the gas early. It's going to take a big effort for Mesa.
Mesa spun up. He had a mistake. Here comes Forres. He's going up the hill. He's deep into the tuck. The checkered flag awaits, and it's going to be 4 in a row for Xavi Forres. A 1:17, 2:17, 7:01 for Mesa on the last lap, and that can't quite get it done. But Mesa on the final lap, trying to win the race, ends up breaking the lap record. Supersport lap record set all the way back in 2017 by Garrett Gerloff, a 2:17.701. But at the end of the day, it's going to be Xavi Forres.